Good morning, good morning. Sorry for the delay in the start. I had to set up my social posts, but it was good to set them up, and now it is good to be here. And welcome to the Morning Word Show. This is Joseph with Walking Wall Poetry. Today we're going to be doing some more work on COVID poems as I slowly start to build out my collection. In fact, I kind of set up a schedule. So today we will be doing my COVID collection in the morning, and then obviously ideas abounding in case you have any ideas for COVID poems. Then in the evening today, I will be doing my first ever evening word show, 7 o'clock EST. It will be a request show. It'll be very similar to what you see here. So if you're really watching this in the morning, you don't need to watch it in the evening. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully there will be a lot of fun times, gimmicks, things like that. We will see. As a result of that, I'm going to be scaling back on the morning shows back to a half an hour for now, just to see how kind of the things flow and everything works. So we'll just be here a little while. And then in Wednesday morning will be a request show for the morning people. And then the Thursday morning will be, and then Wednesday afternoon will be a typewriter repair stream, which will be about 1 o'clock, I think. So still setting those up, still kind of getting that schedule situated and organized. And we will be doing stuff like that. So this morning, I'm going to start with a very, with a poem that I had a lot of trouble even kind of talking about last time, which was my combined poem about Jordan Springs, about Cuba, about COVID-19, about slavery and the Confederacy. And this one has a lot of inside references to Cuba. It is a powerful poem. It's emotional. It's not my usual fare, but I'm going to read it and we will get started with it and we'll see where this poem takes us. So without further ado, I'm going to move my stuff over here so I have some room. This is Jordan Springs, Cuba by Joseph Jablonski. Needing to escape the pandemic, south on Virginia roads with Benny Morey, misty gray in morning for a world unseen. Poems in my mind's eye rounding corners to nowhere. I see Jose Marti Airport in the asphalt. I see Matanzas in the mobile homes. They were wealthier then. Music poured from the windows. Socialism the only sickness. Parks were rich with those smiling faces. Slavery a sacred memory oft forgot. A confederation died in these damp hills, amputated from its birthright, secluded and homeless in its homes. At least our Wi-Fi is free. At least our healthcare is shit. Who nurses the nurses, celebrating the samba in the slavery of death, the weddingless wedding, the unmarried country, stone-faced statuary silent as the droplets rush by, where long-lost natives believed in healing, a healing that never came. There's a lot packed into this poem. In terms of escape, pain. Let me start taking a look at places, things. Very much more, it's not as much about the pandemic, but it's about the Civil War in light of the pandemic, really. I'm going to go to some editing. I really don't have any words to kind of say in response to this. I'm just going to kind of go and edit it. I say here, slavery, a solemn scar. And it's really about the present. Yeah, no way is it a nice poem. But it's kind of about how that split is still potential today. That line is one of the eeriest lines I think I've ever written. Ever written about anything. Where long lost natives believed in healing, a healing that never came. I mean, the fact is it doesn't come for us either. Well, anyway, that's about that. If you're just tuning in, I'm doing typewriter poetry. I currently have been editing a poem, and I'm about to take it to the typewriter and retype it. Now, this one was typed on widened paper. You can see here that it is wider. See, is it? No. Well, oh, well, yeah, because this is a regular 5x7 right here. So you can see here it sticks out. So there's going to be a lot of formatting issues with this one as well. But this one I definitely want in my collection. Readjust my margins. I was writing a letter yesterday to Grant. If you're tuning into the stream, I'm typing COVID poems that are centered on the theme of coronavirus, but I can type whatever you guys want. More than welcome greetings and hellos in the chat. Otherwise, I will continue just writing on. Jeez. Keep sneezing. Now that I'm pretty sure that Meaning Wave Radio has started including more Sauce Wave songs. Wind City Chess, good morning. Good morning, David. Surprise, surprise, I'm going to be starting to teach chess again. It's going to be exciting over Zoom. It is good to see you as part of the stream. I am chipping away at more COVID poems. This one is a pretty powerful personal one. It's not my usual chipper fare. It is about the Civil War, Cuba, and the pandemic. About all the fun things, right? It even includes statues here. And believe it or not, I wrote this one 4 months ago. So, yeah. Well, let's see. Poems in my mind's eye. I'm probably going to run out of room here. It's a little long for a single sheet, as you can see here. I ran out here, but I'm going to read it, the revised version, with some small revisions. Now, again, this is not a fun poem. This is definitely one that I wrote. I literally had to take a drive. Like the pandemic and everything, it was at the peak of all that stay at home. I had to take a drive. I had to get out. And I put on Cuban music, which I took a 2-week stint doing a study abroad in Cuba. So Cuba's close to my heart, but I don't claim to be any sort of expert in it. But it was different. Like I needed to really escape. And I did. But then the escape kind of turned into this. So, Jordan Springs, Cuba. Needing to escape the seclusion. South on Virginian roads with Benny Morey. Misty gray mire of morning for a world unseen. Poems in my mind's eye, rounding corners to nowhere, I disappear into memory. I see Jose Marti Airport in the asphalt. I see Matanzas and mobile homes. We were wealthier then. Music poured from windows. Socialism, the only possible sickness. Parks were rich with those smiling faces. Slavery, a solemn scar on the national soul we oft forget. A confederation died in these damp hills. Self-amputated from its birthright, Esau, secluded and homeless in its home still today. At least our Wi-Fi is free. At least our healthcare is shit. Who nurses the nurses celebrating the social distance samba into the slavery of death? The weddingless wedding. The unmarried country. Stone-faced statuary silent as the droplets rush by. Where long-lost natives believed in healing. A healing that never came. It's sad. It's a sad poem. But not all my poems are sad, and not all my poems have to be happy. Yeah. And there's a way to express that. And a lot of times it comes out in anger. And there's a little fire in this poem. I've always struggled with that line, at least our healthcare is shit, because I know a lot of people that work really hard in the healthcare industry. And I believe, and that's not what I mean by at least our healthcare is shit. I mean that the systems that people have entered into are very messed up systems in some way. Well, that's a poem. And that represents our poetry for today. As I had said at the beginning of the stream, you might miss David. I'm going to be capping these streams off at a half an hour because I am now to have an evening show Tuesdays and Thursdays. So exciting! Woo! I'll be back online tonight. Thank you so much for everybody that tuned in. If you are currently not following the channel, please consider following the channel, as I am attempting to reach that affiliate status so we can unlock typewriter emojis. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Not all streams are like this. A lot of times I write more chipper poetry, but today it was important. Carving out that part of the soul and contemplating it. The trouble of these themes in our society today, and the alienation that the Confederacy and the Civil War still brings today, that slavery brought to everybody. The challenges of being a modern country that claims to be efficient and beautiful. Like, I was watching speeches from one of the national conventions yesterday, and it was like, everybody's talking about all these ideals, but when the ideals get separated from the reality, which is an irony, you always want to be chasing ideals, but when you separate the ideals from the reality, it's when things really start to unravel. Anyway, and that's kind of what a little bit about this is painting a real picture. Femke, thank you so much for dropping one of those typewriter emojis in the chat. We certainly have our lo-fi emojicon. I should probably have like a Nightbot running that just chats them every once in a while. I could set up Nightbot like Akira set up Nightbot to respond to commands. That'll be a lot of fun. We can do that. All right. Thank you all, and we'll be back tomorrow morning, but I will also be back this evening at 7 o'clock. You have a great day.